Nico, Stevenage at home this weekend. Just quickly, your reflections on 4 points over Easter.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. The lads, continue to buy into what we're trying to do. They continue to try and improve. There were loads of positives over that weekend, and as always, there's lots of things that we could have done better. Particularly Cheltenham. We've got to be better at capitalising on the start that we had, on the domination that we had in terms of possession, in terms of breaking lines going forward. But we didn't test the goalkeeper enough. We didn't take the chances that we had, and that's where, for us to become, very, very good in this league, we've got to take that next step. And that comes with time, it comes with experience, it comes with, learning those lessons, and the lads are getting that. So, fingers crossed that starts to fall into place. You've only got to look at Stano last season. I know he got 6 goals. He kind of padded his stats a bit with his hat-trick on the last day to get to 9. But he went a long time without scoring in League One. And then I see he's just got into double figures in the Championship in a team that's not doing as well as I'm sure he would hope. So it shows up great on him. It shows how the process works of young players developing, gaining experience. And that's the area that we need to improve most.
On the subject of young players, then obviously Luke Harris scored against Cheltenham. And if you look at the goal and the build-up to that goal, that felt like the signature style that we've been slowly implementing throughout the season, and particularly coming to fruition in the last couple of months, really.
Yeah, I think you've seen flashes of that all season. You've only got to go back to early season when we played Reading at home, and that at that point was about the best we'd played in terms of our identity, how we want to play, ball on the floor, fast pace, break lines, go forward. But that was a similar picture in that we didn't go in at half time winning, and that's the big thing, the next step. The goal against Cheltenham, I think, has all areas of what we want. Yeah, we were brave to play out, but the ball down the line that doesn't get there, it's Luke that reacts quickest to win the ball, to get a deflection that then breaks to us, and then we pile forward again, and he's there to finish it. And that, we were watching in the hotel on the, I forget what day it is right now, but on the Sunday night before Cheltenham, we were watching the Man City game, and as average as the game was overall, Man City, when they lost the ball, are frighteningly good at reacting to go and get the ball back. And that's where 1 or 2 of their chances came from. And that's like a club that we need to role model. If we're going to be brave to play, we are going to give the ball away. And if we're going to give the ball away, we need to make sure that our reaction isn't disappointment. It's just immediately going to get it back. And that in itself becomes a positive tactic, because chances come from it. And the Cheltenham goal probably shows that. Looking
ahead to this weekend then, Stevenage aside on the cusp of the playoffs, which will obviously be their target for this season, which shows what a fantastic job Steve Evans has done there. Yeah, and again, it's a manager that knows his way. He knows how he wants things done. He obviously, between him and Rayner, they coach it well. They get players that are fitted for that kind of style, and they're good at it. And that's credit to everybody involved. It's credit to the players to buy into it. It's credit to the coaching staff and the manager to set something out there and go, this is who we are and this is how we're going to do it. And that's the beauty of football. There's no right way or wrong way. I think on Saturday you're going to see a clash of styles, and that is interesting, certainly from a coaching point of view, and it's also something that we need to make sure that we're ready for, because it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be what we want it to be. We are going to have to fight. We are going to have to scrap. We're going to have to be strong. They've got some really physical, aggressive players that we're going to have to try and neutralise and then keep the ball away from them. So it will be a fascinating day. It's great that they've got something to play for. From our point of view, we need to push for a top half finish. I think if we really do well, we can push, maybe not into the top 10, but close enough. And the only way we can do that is by winning on Saturday. 1-1 in the league game, 1-1, and then it went to penalties in the cup game. Do you expect another testing, close game again on Saturday? Yeah, they don't concede many goals. They're good at what they do. So we've found a way to hang in there with them. The game at their place when we went down to 10 men and came back was I wouldn't say a turning point, but it was a big point for us. And again, it's probably what happens when you get clashes of style like that. So the games have been tight. I don't expect anyone to particularly run away with it, but I expect both teams to commit to their style and give it a good go. In terms of team fitness, did everyone come through the Easter period unscathed?
Yeah, pretty much. Ben picked up a concussion which kept him out of Cheltenham, unfortunately, but that's the protocol's ongoing and it looks like he should be okay. So, yeah, everybody's fit and raring to go, really.
Does that give with Ben being available again, a selection headache, given Alex Hartridge's performance against Cheltenham?
Yeah, and Zach's suspension will be up after this one, and that's exactly how it needs to be. Everybody needs to be pushing each other. So Al was outstanding. It was said on the day. I think it's great testament to him as a professional and as a person that he's trained as hard as he's trained to make sure that he's ready to play like that. And it's a great lesson to other players who may feel that they're on the periphery or not in and around it, that at any given time you might be asked to go in and play your game. And that's why you need to be ready, and that's why it's process.
A big part of that for several players within the squad is decisions will be made at the end of the season.
Yeah, and again, the nature of football, you're always fighting for something. You're fighting for your own contract, you're fighting for your own place, you're fighting for the team, you're fighting for the fans, you're fighting for the football club. There's always something for you to be pushing for to try and get better. And we hope that we've got self-starters. We hope we've got guys that are motivated for all the right reasons. And I think they've shown that. Again, Al being a great example for what happened at Cheltenham. But it's great that we've got competition and people have got plenty to do over these next 4 weeks.
Great stuff, Nico. Thank you.
Cheers.